Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I'll be reviewing the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch Professional 42 millimeters on stainless steel with a black dial and white subdials. A new release as of 2026, reference 310.30.42.50.01.004. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of this watch, then I'll tell you about where it stands in the lineup of other similar Speedmasters. Then I'll tell you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start. The Moonwatch is the first watch and the only watch that has gone to the moon. Yeah, well, I guess the last part's not entirely true, but has been on, it is definitely the first watch that has been to the moon, and hence the name Moonwatch. And the reason why is because the Omega designed this watch this way. When I say this way, I mean it has a chronometer, which is a chronograph that can calculate elapsed time, is because they needed that in space. And also the reason why that this watch is a manual wind as opposed to an automatic movement such as the Rolex Daytona is because in space there's no gravity, and you need gravity in order for the rotor to turn, and they don't have gravity there. So Omega decided to solve that by using the old school method of manual wind, and it also allows you to look at the movement, which is very beautiful. So Omega, in all 6 of their moon landings, have had the Omega Moonwatch go up, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. One of the few watches in the world that have gone to the moon. I'm not going to say it's the only watch that has gone to the moon since then, because there's many people who have gone, and I don't know what they've been wearing, but it has gone to all 6 moon landings. At least that's what it says on Omega's website, and I believe that to probably be true. So that's a pretty cool thing. Okay, so with that said, that's a little history. The moon landing happened, I don't know, 1963 or 2 or something like that. So what's that been now? 60 years since they've been producing this one. Now, the original Moonwatch look a little different from this one. It's gone on to have many variations that have made it look, brought it up to date. And I'll go through that when I talk about the details of the watch. But more or less, it's had this same similar look. Okay, now with that said, where does it stand in the lineup? Well, the Moonwatch has a lot of variations, as you might imagine. They get in different materials, in gold and steel and gold, stainless steel, as you see here, on leather, with different dial configurations. This one's black, they make it in white, and a lot of other variations from that, and even different materials, and so on and so forth. So they make a lot of variations of it, and rightfully so, because it's probably their best seller, I would say, the Omega Speedmaster. That is, the Speedmaster and the Seamaster, probably the two. Not probably, they definitely are the 2 best sellers for Omega. And that's saying a lot, because Omega does a lot of different models. Okay, so let's start talking about the watch itself. One more thing before we start that. Omega, normally they make another one that's just all black, and they make one that's all white. And those were new releases. The white one was a new release, I think, as of 24, and or maybe 25, I can't remember. But they recently, as you see, what is special about this one? Well, it's black with these white subdials. And I really think that these white subdials make the watch pop way more than the all black subdials. The all black subdials is nice, but this one's way nicer, if you ask me. The subdials just make the watch look much more legible, number one. I don't know why they didn't think of it earlier, but yeah, just breaks up the monotony of all black dial. Okay, so with that said, let's start talking about the watch itself, starting with the case. Now the case is going to be a 42 millimeter case, and you might actually think that's kind of big, but check this out. The lug to lug, meaning the top to bottom, is only 47.5 millimeters, which makes it the same as a Rolex Daytona. Yeah, that's right. In the Daytona is only 40 millimeters, but what's important, the most important metric is not actually the diameter, is actually the lug to lug, the top to bottom, 12 to 6, the farthest part from going across from the top to the bottom of the watch is the lug to lug, and it's 47.5, which makes it more or less the same as the Daytona. And that's the distance that it's going to fill across your wrist. So you don't want that to be too big, or else it'll look too big on your wrist. But at 42, this watch actually has short lugs, which makes the lug to lug kind of short, which is a good thing because it's going to fit a lot of people. And the thickness here is going to be 13.5 millimeters, a little bit thicker than a Daytona, but nothing out of the norm. 13.5 is totally fine, considering that it's a very accurate chronograph. Okay, and it has a sapphire case back, which also takes up some millimeters here, or millimeter here. Okay, so anyways, that is the case. Now the case, before I move on, I should say that it has a beautiful beveled edge, a satin finish or a brush finish top, and your signature Speedmaster case. Looks more or less the same as all the Speedmaster cases. I mean, that's what defines this collection, is the case. The material, the band, the dial color, all that can change, but without this case, it's no longer a Speedmaster. So it has a beautiful Speedmaster case, which you can see right here. And the pushers, I really like these pushers. They keep it old school with this these type of pushers. I don't know what you call them, but they're cool. Patek even uses a very similar pusher in their manual wind chronograph. I think the reference is 5172. And it just keeps it with this vintage look to it. But even though it's vintage look, it still has a modern feel to it. So it feels very snug when you press on it. It's a very satisfying click when you click on this. It just looks really looks and feels good. Okay, that's the case. Now let's look at the bezel here. The bezel here is going to be a black ceramic bezel, and it's quite nice if you ask me. It's nothing too out of the norm. It's the same as all the other black ceramic bezels, but I like that it's really thin bezel insert, and it's made of ceramic with a stainless steel surround on it. Okay, and it has a tachymeter too, by the way, which allows you to calculate how speed. I don't exactly know how that works, so you're gonna have to read the manual by yourself on that one. Okay. But I know that they have used this chronograph on the moon, on one of the returns on their Apollo. I don't know which one it was, but on one of the returns from the moon, all their instruments failed. They had to use their chronograph, and they used it. And it worked perfectly, which saved the day. So without this instrument, they would be in big trouble. Maybe those guys wouldn't even be back on Earth. So, yeah, this is a true story, actually. And that's what the Omega Snoopy watch commemorates. So the story even sounds unbelievable when I say it out of my mouth, but if you actually look it up and watch one of my previous videos on the Snoopy, you'll realize that it's actually a true story. Okay, anyways, let's move on here to the dial. Now, the dial, as I've been stating earlier, is really one of the most special parts. In fact, with black on white, I think this watch is going to be a smash hit. Before, it was black on black, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing, but it's not black on white, which gives it this, I guess you could call it the panda, or maybe a reverse panda. I'm not sure, but at any rate, it really makes the watch stand out with this really cool dial configuration here, which, by the way, is a new release as of 2026, early 2026, I think February or March or something like, or January. So, by the way, the watch retails for $10,400. Most places are selling it above retail, and at least as of early 2026, it's selling above retail. But you can't even get it at the authorized dealer yet, so that's the reason. The prices might come down in the future, but I suspect that with this dial configuration, this watch is going to do really well. It's going to be a smash hit. It's already a smash hit. This and the white dial. Maybe they'll do the same thing with the white, make it white with black subdials. Who knows, right? Because yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so the next thing is talk about. Oh, we've already talked about the dial. And oh, by the way, I just want to point out on the subdials, you notice that when you put it with white and then you put black lettering, it really stands out. But the subdials also kind of look vintage in that there's not a whole lot written on there. It's a very clean subdial, and I think that's done quite well. It just really makes it easily legible. Okay, let's move on here to the bracelet. The bracelet is going to be your standard Speedmaster bracelet. Has a beautiful buckle, and if you look carefully at the Speedmaster bracelet, you'll actually notice that it alternates between high polished and brushed, which I think they did it masterfully. And the buckle is also pretty cool here. It's a standard buckle, but it does still look very nice. Okay, now let's look at the movement. Here's where I really think this watch stands out, okay? The movement here is fantastic, especially at the price point. I mean, $10,400 retail, but check out this movement. I mean, the movement could be, on a much more expensive watch. All the gears and everything are exposed so that you can see it with no rotor to impede the visualization of this beautiful movement. The movement itself is going to be a caliber Omega 3861. It's manual wind. It has 50-hour power reserve, which means you only have to wind it once every 50 hours all the way. But it just looks fantastic. You got all these gears and nice finishing on the bridge, the balance wheel. It just really looks super cool. All right, and you know that it's Omega, unlike some other companies, I'm not going to name the names, they're not just putting extra parts and stuff to make it look cool. They're making it very functional because, as I just stated, this watch has literally gone to the moon. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the G-forces that have to propel an astronaut from Earth to outer space? And this watch withstood those G-forces. That is definitely something, pretty amazing. Now, I think that's also partly because Omega is not using a bunch of fluff, if you will. They're not doing adding stuff they don't need to add. They're just making it what it needs to be. Okay, it's time to try this watch out and give you my thoughts. I'm a fan of Omega. I like the brand itself. I think for a mid-range watch, they do a great job. And of their watches, the Moonwatch and the Speedmaster or Seamaster are the two best in my opinion. The James Bonds, those are great. And so I think in every guy's collection that is really a watch fan, they could do one of each, a Moonwatch and a Seamaster. And with this new dial configuration, in my opinion, of the steel ones, it's the best. It's even better than the white dial, which I've done a review on, and it's definitely better than the other black dial that's just flat black. Of course, it's hard to compare this to like a gold watch or something like that, but I'm comparing it to steel watches. So, this is a durable watch. It can do everything. It looks cool. You can wear it in a more sporty fashion, or you can also use it in a more dress-like fashion. And you can even swap the bracelet. If you don't want to wear a steel bracelet, you can swap it to leather or canvas or whatever it is. And it's still going to look really sporty and cool. So for that reason, I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up, and this dial configuration is just the best. So if you want to buy it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at jazzstone.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And If you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.